Lord, we thank you for the many blessings we receive each and every day. We ask you to please watch over our drivers, teams, crews, officials, and our wonderful fans. We ask you to please watch over our armed forces, police and firemen as they protect this great country each and every day. We pray this in your Son's name. Amen.
Top qualifier and point leader, car number 82, Bob Sibla Jr. Green flag coming off of turn number 4. We are underway. Into the first corner we go in our fast heat for the Summit Racing Economy Modifieds. The 09 of Philip Cox going to go into the race lead. Brandon Bailey on the high lane. Boy, Bailey really tried that outside lane when I was here a couple of weeks ago. Really spent a lot of time out there trying to make that second groove work. Right now it is the 09 of Cox leading. Another sophomore competitor in the modifieds, the 21 car, Bryce Allensworth for the number 2 spot. Rick Elkins Jr., talented driver, racing for 4th. Now moving up into the number 3 spot. If he can get to the inside, Bailey's going to be able to close the door. Elkins keeps his nose in there just enough. And Elkins again for the 3rd spot, pulls up nearly wheel to wheel for the number 3 position. 3 laps in the books, 5 laps to go. Philip Cox, your leader. What improvement shown by Cox this season with a new car. In the 2nd position, Bryce Allensworth starting to run him down on the move. The 51 of Elkins, the number 2 car of Lee McCreary, as they move up on the inside lane. For the lead in a moment, Bryce Allensworth's going to be there. And Philip Cox is going to have to try to fend off the challenges. Top qualifier Sibla up into the number 5 position now. 5 laps down, 3 laps to go. Lucas Ripley also looking to the low side of Bailey, who's been freight trained in that second groove. Here comes Sibla for the number 4 spot. 2 to go at the line for the 09 of Philip Cox. Tad Grove has also shuffled back in the outside lane here in our heat race. Good win percentage and feature action for Grove over the last couple of years. White flag waving, 1 to go for the 09 of Philip Cox. He's doing a great job protecting the bottom, but he gives it up coming off at 2. Allensworth tries to get to the inside, can't quite get enough bite to get there. Coming off to the checkered flag in turn number 4, going to be Philip Cox picking up the win. 2nd place to Bryce Allensworth. Elkins 3rd. 4th spot to the number 2 of Lee McCreary, and finishing 5th, the 82 of Bob Sibla Jr. And your first heat race of the night. Pulling to the line in car 09 from Janaton Hutton, the Ron Kirkpatrick Racing Alpha Heating and Cooling car. Good run. Let's hear it for Philip Cox.
His 2nd fast heat win in a row for the 09 of Philip Cox. Pretty good run the last couple weeks.
Of Trey Williams out of Dover, the Ziegler Dozer Service, and a Schaffner Law Office, 11 of Trey Williams. Green flag, turn number 4, 2nd heat for the Summit Racing Modifieds underway. We'll go down into the first corner. Braden Swaney going to go into the lead. Saw back of the field, puff of smoke, locking up the tires at the back. Trouble, backstretch into the wall. Nose first goes to the number 5 of Justin Courtney. And yellow is out for the first time on night number 13. It's for the number 5 of Justin Courtney. There was a little bit of contact. He was on the outside lane, a couple of cars bumping tires. He was able to get it woed down. I don't think it probably hurt the clip. May not have hurt the suspension too badly, as I think he just got kind of the bumper bar up front, Chris.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's a whole lot of damage, but I think he hit it pretty much flush with the nose. We'll have to wait and see once he gets it going here. Obviously, you see Justin not very happy. He didn't even get to make a half a lap so far this season, so tough break for that number 5. I know he was talking earlier how excited he was to be back in that machine tonight.
Ready to go green, turn number 4, Mike Hudson, Braden Swaney, ready to bring him in. No laps complete, 8 laps to go, and we are underway. Swaney's going to have the advantage into turn number 2. Off the second corner, Braden Swaney not quite able to clear the 92 of Hudson yet. Gives him room down in turn 3. Looking good in the second lane, coming to the line, will lead lap number 1. Doug McMillan, he's choosing to keep his car in that outside lane as well. McMillan going to go to the high side of Hudson for the second spot as Swaney leads. McMillan working for second. Matt Hutchison, a top 5 run in the modifieds recently. Oh, running out of room. McMillan does a nice job as the 92 of Hudson takes him all the way up the track. Then Hudson comes down the banking. The 6 car of Hutchison nowhere to go. And a yellow flag is out. Braden Swaney, he's got Doug McMillan, the veteran, campaigner to the outside, and we are back underway and into the first turn. Swaney looking pretty good on the inside. McMillan on the outside gets a pretty good run off the second corner. Going to be 3 laps in this time. Swaney going to be able to hold him off so far. McMillan slipping back into the grasp now of Hutchison. Hutchison, pretty good run to the inside. He goes up the banking. He avoids contact with the 54X machine. And they're wheel to wheel now. McMillan sideways on the exit of the corners. Andrew Wise is going to be next to move up there. Nose to tail, Wise. He gets a power push. Hudson nearly puts it up into the wall. Krebs and the 11 of Williams going to be able to scoot by. 5 in, 3 to go. Braden Swaney has his hands full right now. Hutchison is there, following in the tire tracks of the number 27. Hutchison looking for an opening. That opening may be in the outside lane. Will he try to drop under him and make the move coming off the bottom of 2? Would have liked to, but he couldn't because the door was kept closed by the 27 of Swaney. White flag is out this time. 1 to go for Braden Swaney. Hutchison on the rear bumper may have made some slight contact. He kind of messes up the apex of the turn, slips back a little bit, going to race to the checkered. It's going to be Tuskegee Braden Swaney to the victory. Second spot to the 6 of Hutchison, 3rd to Doug McMillan, 4th to Andrew Wise. Finishing in the 5th spot, the 40 of Krebs, 6th spot to the 11 of Williams. Museum Tattoo, Schneider Home Improvement, Schwartz Trucking, and Gribble Fabrications car. He's from Tuskegee. Let's have a nice hand for Braden Swaney. Hutchison putting on a couple impressive runs here as of late, Chris. A driver I haven't got to see race a whole lot, but he looked pretty good there in the heat race, finishing 2nd. Had a top 5 run in a recent feature. Out of Springfield Township, Lakes Auto Recycling, Bond Heating and Cooling, Passwater Senior, and Colton Ritchie coming to the green. Heat 1 for the street stocks. Already Bertram looking to make it 3 wide. He just about ran out of room down in the first corner. He's going to go back to the inside lane. Meanwhile, we look up front. We're going to see Passwater Senior taking the lead. Bertram gets up into Grove, and Bertram's cut down a right front tire. That right front tire is low on the number 55 of Kyler Bertram from the contact when he slid up into the 3 of Grove. They're going to take the Bertram ride into the pits, work on it, get it ready for the feature. Coming into lap number 2 at the conclusion, going to be the 75 of Bob Passwater Sr. Leading the way, Westerfield, former modified competitor at Midvale. He's up to second and looking for the lead. Colton Ritchie running in the 4th spot now. Larry Smith lights up the tires going into the 3rd corner, and look out. Coming down the front stretch, there was some contact. This could be more contact. Westerfield down the banking, around he goes, and then collects the number 3 of Kyle Grove. 28 of Waylon Orr restarting in 5th. And here we go, coming off of 4, back underway. Into the lead goes Larry Smith in the 44. Here comes Colton Ritchie in the 21. He's going to try to move up into the number 2 spot. Oh, Passwaters takes it in deep in turn 3, pushes a little bit. These guys a little bit rough, a little bit aggressive in the heat. There's some contact from the 80 of Westerfield. Got into the back of the 21 of Colton Ritchie down in turn number 3 and 4. Going to be 2 laps to go at the line. Coming off the corner this time, Larry Smith leading the way. Passwaters in second. Grove running 3rd. He's got the opening on the bottom. He's not going to be able to get in there far enough. Waylon Orr still running the high lane as the white flag waves. 1 to go for Larry Smith. Final circuit, Larry Smith has the number 44 hooked up. Kyle Grove, he's gone to the outside lane. Very likely will take the 2nd position as 2 of our top competitors from a week ago going to take 1-2 in this race. Larry Smith wins. Kyle Grove in 2nd. 3rd spot to the 75 of Passwaters. Finishing 4th, the 21 of Colton Ritchie. 5th to the 80 of Westerfield, and the 28 of Waylon Orr finishing in the final spot of 6th. Bertram pulled off. Let's have a nice round of applause for your winner of Heat Race 1 for the Street Stocks, Larry Smith. Larry Smith, the 44, sponsored by Stewart's Flooring, Joe's Auto Service, and Appliance and more. Rounding out the field, 74 is Bob Passwaters Jr. from Waynesburg. The green is out. Kelly Wisman swerved down the banking for a moment. Looked like he and Martin were going to get together. They did not. They continue on in the front row. Side by side they race for the number 1 position. Into the lead goes the 11 of Mike Martin. Oh, look out. Wisman then will go back to the high lane. Here comes Todd Miller, former champion in this division. He's racing for 2nd. Wisman, former compact driver, in the 2nd spot. Oh, look out, Wisman. He got sideways, nearly made some contact with the number 1 of Hoopengarner, a pucker factor moment. 2 laps in, 6 laps to go, and leading the way, the number 11 of Mike Martin. Mike Martin gonna get a speeding ticket. Martin gonna get a speeding ticket. He has broken out of his qualifying time, and that's gonna move the number 77 of Todd Miller into the lead under his qualifying time. 2 laps in the race. Mike Martin in the 11, so he's out of it. 77 of Miller, 1 car of Gary Hoopengarner. 4th, 3rd, here comes Passwaters Jr. Will Wisman give him the room in 3? Kind of. As they race for that 3rd spot. 3 to go. Passwaters keeps looking high, keeps looking low, and so far to no avail for the lead. Hoopengarner makes a run. Couple of the veteran drivers from Midvale Speedway both have raced in divisions as high as the late model class here at Midvale. Hoopengarner outside, Miller inside, and the white flag will be out this time. They're wheel to wheel. It's going to be a battle on the final lap. 1 to go, and that battle is going to be short-lived as Hoopengarner clears them, then locks up the tires a little bit going into the turn. Here comes Miller back, just about swapping some paint. Down into the corner, Hoopengarner closes the door, gets a little sideways middle of the turn. dirt tracks it coming off of 4, but picks up the win. Gary Hoopengarner to the victory. Finishing second, Todd Miller. Good race between the two. Taking third, Kelly Wisman, and fourth to Bob Passwaters Jr. as they exit off the track to claim the checkered flag. Using the outside lane in the Express Services number 1 from Perry, Ohio, Gary Hoopengarner.
I seen Munt a couple weeks ago.
Munt's in the house tonight.
Is Munt in the house tonight?
Yeah, Munt's in the house tonight.
Nice. I haven't seen Munt in a couple weeks, but.
And the 751 of Alan Bedard from Uricksville. Leading the way at the start of this one is the 72 of Cordia. Here comes Keith Anderson. Anderson into second here early on. And will go for the lead. Anderson pulls up to the outside of Derek Cordia for the first position. Anderson in the lead. He takes over. He does push up and opens up that inside lane again, but Cordia follows in the tire tracks. Joe Leinert for third outside of the 95 of Michael Varnes. Coming in on lap 4 this next time around, going to be halfway. Oh, Derek Cordia doing a little dirt tracking on the high side, using up that cushion. Halfway. 4 laps in, 4 laps to go. The 751 of Bedard gets the black flag. Bedard in his first start. Pulling off into the pits, the former Nicholas Ride. 5 in, 3 to go at the line for Keith Anderson. Number 4 of Preston Kelly has looped it around and pulls up to the edge. He's going to get rolling once again. 1 lap down is Preston Kelly. Battle next developing will be for the second spot between the 72 of Derek Cordia, the 82 of Joe Leinert. 2 laps to go. Canton Auto Salvage Compacts getting ready to go next. They are lining up for their fast heat in the pits. White flag is out, 1 to go, 1 lap to go for Keith Anderson as he is setting a blistering pace in his 32 ride. Side by side for second. Cordia is still able to hold him off. Speaking of which, holding him off and picking up the checkered and the win, the 32 of Keith Anderson in the heat race for the mini trucks. Cordia is going to take second. Joe Leinert's going to take third. 4th spot to Michael Varnes. Preston Kelly 1 lap down, but brings home a top 5 finish in the heat race for the Finish Line Motors mini truck division. Wave and yell and jump up and down, and they're probably going to toss one your way. Some can koozies from John Deere and Keister Implement. Truck number 32, Keith Anderson, picks up your win in the heat race. The Doggone Trucking and M&D Design truck out of Barnhill. Anderson again driving his stepson Dusty Nicholas's truck is the 57. 27 of Brett Van Meter on the outside of row number 2. Row number 3 is Larry Ennis Jr., and they're threading the needle, the 21. Conclusion of lap number 1, going to be the 169 of Alan Clark leading the way. Keller and Clark in a good battle up front. That row number 2 of the 46 of Bailey and the 27 of Britt Van Meter. Jay Berg, second week in a row, top qualifier, has Wes Ennis looking to make it 3 wide in that number 50 car. Point leader Wes Ennis.
Jason Shaw on the 46, Mr. Mackey.
Jason Shaw is driving the 46 for Christian Bailey tonight. Jason Shaw's raced a lot this season on dirt, as well as the last number of seasons, after being a former champion in the compact division here at Midvale Speedway. We are halfway into this 8-lap event. 4 in, 4 to go. Jason Shaw has an opening, can't fill it, and the battle continues. Just about like we started this race, 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. 8 cars, all double wide throughout the field, leading Alan Clark. And the 169, the 28 of Jim Keller, running in the second spot. And right now, Keller still fighting back. Clark has the advantage. He's using that second lane and does clear Keller. And Clark can close the door if he so chooses to do so, and does. He will pull away. Jason Shaw boxed in right now in the third spot. Make it fourth as Van Meter goes around the outside, round the outside, round the outside. Coming in this time to the white flag. 1 lap to go for the 169 of Alan Clark. 4-second Van Meter might have a chance to get it. But for Alan Clark, he doesn't care. He's going to be the winner. Alan Clark takes the win. Second spot, it's a photo finish, but I believe it was Keller. By vision, it looked like Keller held him off. The flagman agrees. It looked like Keller held off Van Meter there. Got a visual on that one, Coletti? Transponders had it Van Meter, then Keller. It looked like vision-wise, it was Keller in the second spot, then Van Meter. So look at instant replay for that one. The 169 picking up the win in our first heat. Nice run for Alan Clark. First choice automotive entry. Rounding out our field in car number 50 is Dale Beatty. And the number 19 of Clayton Oliver. We've already got him going 3 wide, and Finlayson going for the lead. This just in, the photo finish has been announced. It was Jim Keller taking second in our first heat race. 3 wide into the corner, 3 wide into turn number 3. Brent Schreffler on the bottom lane. That's preferred groove, and he's up to second. Second obviously isn't enough for Schreffler. He's going to be greedy. He's going to try to take the lead as well. Brent Schreffler to the outside. Schreffler on the high lane. On the inside is Herron. And Schreffler into the number 1 spot. McDonald going to try to come along with him. Clayton Oliver threading some needles back in the field. Never knew he could sew a bow, and now he's going to get a little contact. As that seam just about closes up as the 19 of Oliver got some contact from the left rear. Corbett going to make a little more contact. Keeps into that left rear quarter panel. McDonald does move up into second. Herron back to third. Oliver trying to figure out which way to go. Oh, and now he's going to thread a real tight seam down the back stretch. He's able to get through. He's up to second. Now back to third. As meanwhile, the 24 of Schreffler is checking out. And Clayton Oliver is in the second spot, but he gets some contact from the 30 of Corey Herron. Getting a little dicey in this second heat race as we are beating and banging, trying not to tear anything up before feature time. Schreffler leading by nearly a straightaway. Clayton Oliver in second, battle third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. 2 to go. Brent Schreffler leading, but that lead is a big one over the 19 of Clayton Oliver. Oliver came from the back of the field and did so while getting some contact from a number of different competitors. Schreffler at the line, leading the way on the final lap now. Still good racing for the third spot. Mike McDonald on the inside lane. Kyle Finlayson on the outside. Finlayson struggling a little bit tonight. As the checkered flag coming off of turn number 4, going to be the number 24 of Brent Schreffler picking up the win. Oliver will finish second. Another photo finish for third. This one not quite as close. It's going to be the 15 of Finlayson 16 McDonald taking the 4th spot, and 5th to Lisa Moore in the 95. There's a chance to get into victory lane tonight. He does it in the second heat race for the Canton Auto Salvage Compacts. And I mentioned that about his engine issues because he basically bought stock in GM earlier this season with a number of power plants he had underneath the hood. Put your hands together for Brent Schreffler, new Philadelphia driver in the GM Fabrications, Finlayson Towing, Amsoil, and Pringles Auto Body, number 24, Brent Schreffler, young driver, picking up the win in Heat 2. Really, anybody in the first 3 or 4 in a pretty good spot. Sibla's the one that's got to work hard, and then after that, each driver that's at the back, they got to work hard to avoid being the last car across the line. Green is out. Tough start for Sibla at the back of the field. And down into the first corner we go. McMillan, a good start out front. Here comes the 51 of Elkins trying to get by the number 3 of Grove. Grove giving him some room. I think that's going to help Elkins out. 1 lap in. And so far, no one eliminated. Now this time, it could be the 82 of Sibla. Sibla right now running in the final spot. Not looking good for the point leader. And Sibla in the 82 on the way to being eliminated. And he is. The 82 of Bob Sibla Jr. is eliminated from action to crack the whip race here tonight. Who's it going to be? The final spot is up for grabs. Lucas Ripley in the 0, the 3 of Grove. Grove right now running in last, and he will be eliminated at the line. The 3 of Tad Grove is out of action. Andrew Wise, he could be a driver out of action on this lap if he doesn't step it up. It's the 0 of Ripley right now in that position. Wise has stepped it up in 3 and 4. It's not going to be Wise this time. It's going to be the 0 of Ripley. So Lucas Ripley in the 0 is eliminated. But right now, the 14 of Andrew Wise is in line. Meanwhile, McMillan leads the way. It's going to be Wise this time eliminated. No, contact made. That's going to bring out the yellow. Brandon Bailey going to have to get on the go pedal. He's the last driver in the rundown right now. Green is out. Bailey going to try to get around the 55, and he had an opportunity, but Cox was able to hold the bottom lane closed up for the most part. 5 complete and eliminated the 55. We're down to 2 cars left. 55 of Bailey is eliminated. So Bailey is out of action. Down to the X54 of McMillan, and McMillan's going to win this one because the 09 of Philip Cox is eliminated. And that does it, as the X54 of Doug McMillan will pick up the victory. So in that race, they almost fell out from back to front. Front of this Crack the Whip event holds them off. Claims the victory, the Trenton Tire, J-Mac, Auto Detailing, Haas Body Shop, Doug Morris Sales at Parkway Honda, and Lee's Famous Recipe, X54 veteran Doug McMillan. Last driver each lap will be eliminated except the first lap. Green flag ready to wave for Kelly Wisman.
You think that some of these...
So far, single file formation. Kyle Grove going to have to get on the go pedal. Gary Hoopengarner is. He gets to the outside of Passwater's. Also Todd Miller looking to the outside for the lead. 1 lap. 1 lap complete. No one eliminated on the first lap.
What I was going to say was, do you think some of these veterans maybe who have done this before know a little bit better what to do? Because it's not like a pursuit race where if you're past, you're out.
And it is for that final spot right now. Larry Smith, Waylon Orr, and Kyle Grove. It's going to be a close one at the line. Who's going to be in last? It is Kyle Grove in last. The number 3 car of Grove eliminated. So the 3 of Grove eliminated by inches at the finish line. Larry Smith hanging on. He's getting to the outside of Orr. He's trying to eliminate Waylon Orr by putting him in last, but I think it's going to be Larry Smith. Larry Smith in the 44 eliminated. So Larry Smith also eliminated in the 44 car. Smith out of action. Now it's Waylon Orr in the 28 car next to be eliminated. So Larry Smith obviously doesn't know he's eliminated. Waylon Orr in the 28 car. He's out next. And that's going to mess up. 21 car of Colton Ritchie getting clipped by the 28 of Waylon Orr. Yellow flag is out. Ritchie was eliminated at the line. Larry Smith was eliminated the lap before. Colton Ritchie then gets turned by the 28 of Waylon Orr. Problems for Waylon Orr. Gary Huppengarner brings him to green, coming off of turn number 4 and back underway. 75 of Bob Passwaters Sr. has a chance here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen as he runs in that 5th spot. Todd Miller trying to move up, so the next lap he won't be eliminated. And Huppengarner is going to run away with this one if it continues, so the 75 of Passwaters Sr. has been eliminated. And now the final transfer spot. Will it be the 74 of Passwaters Jr.? Yes, it will. He is eliminated. So the 74 of Passwaters Jr. is eliminated. Oh, and the 77 of Miller got a little scared there for a moment. There's Passwaters Jr. eliminated from action, but he's still out there racing with him. It's going to be Miller this time. Todd Miller out of action, down to 2 cars. Down to 2 cars. And it's going to be the 00 this time, eliminated from action as the checkered flag will wave. Gary Huppengarner will claim the victory as the 00 of Wisman's eliminated, but he does bring home a solid 2nd place finish. The Express Services number 1, a heat win, a crack the whip win. It's Gary Huppengarner from Perry, your winner. Our crack the whip race here tonight. Mini trucks coming up next. Michael Varnes, Derek Cordia, Keith Anderson. Green flag is out. Derek Cordia taking a peek to the high lane. Keith Anderson won the heat race in that backup truck for him tonight. We've seen that truck in victory lane with Dusty Nicholas behind the wheel in features this year. First lap complete, and Anderson's going to have to do something on this lap if he's running in the 3rd spot. He will be eliminated, but I think he's got a chance to take 2nd. Cordy is going to have to fight for it. Who's going to be in last position at the end of 1? Cordy up the track. It's going to be Cordy eliminated. Derek Cordy eliminated from action, so now down to 2 trucks. 1 more going to get eliminated this time. Right now it's in line to be the 95. So Terry Coletti's going to get the checkered flag out. They come off of the corner. He's going to wave it, and it's going to be the 32 of Keith Anderson, the win. The 95 of Varnes will take the 2nd spot. 2 for 2 now for Keith Anderson in the mini trucks. The Doggone Trucking M&D Design, number 32, Keith Anderson, your winner of the Crack the Whip race. This time, parking lot drag competitors, if you haven't already done so, parking lot drag competitors that have signed up, head toward the pit area with your vehicles. You're going to be coming up right next. Point leader, Wes Ennis, starting in the 9th spot. And starting 10th, the 21 of Gage Jayberg, 10 laps still go. Last car each lap, starting on lap 2, eliminated. Green is out. Finlayson the lead, coming off of 2. Is Alan Clark going to go to the outside lane, going to start running in that 2nd groove, trying to make moves forward, so he's not in position later to be eliminated. Jason Shaw running low lane in the 46. Dan Bucky also in the high groove. Gage Jayberg in the 21 is taking a couple laps in cruise control at the back of the field, as Jayberg looks like it's going to be 2 laps and out. Leading the way, Kyle Finlayson in the 27 car. 15, 27 car. Van Meter running middle of the pack. Out of action, the 21 of Gage Jayberg. Now it's the 50 of Wes Ennis, the 69 of Dan Bucky for that final position Who's going to be eliminated right now? It's looking like Wes Ennis. At the line, Wes Ennis in the 50 is eliminated. So Wes Ennis in the 50 eliminated from action. He's still racing. This time it's going to be either the 57 of Larry Ennis Jr. or the 69 of Dan Bucky. Who will it be this time? It's going to be the 57. So the two Ennises are eliminated. 57 of Larry Ennis and 50 of Wes Ennis are eliminated. This time it could be the 69 of Dan Bucky. Doesn't look like... Oh, no, it could be the 169. Who will it be? It is the 69 of Dan Bucky eliminated. Now the 169 of Alan Clark. Dan Bucky still thinks he's racing, but he's not being scored. He's already eliminated. 169 of Alan Clark, last car, and he's going to be eliminated this time. So now 27. 27 is the last car. Pretend the 69 isn't out there. He's been eliminated like a week ago. 27 of Britt Van Meter right now, last car. 27 will be eliminated possibly this time. And 27's eliminated. 28 of Jim Keller, next one in line to be eliminated. Meanwhile, we have Jason Shaw and Brent Schreffler roughing it up for the second spot. Now it will become a little easier to see. We've got all the cars that should have been off the track. 28 car of Keller eliminated. 8 laps complete. Going to be 9 complete. One of these two drivers going to get eliminated that's racing side by side. 24 of Schreffler, 46 of Shaw. Who's it going to be? Looks like it could be Schreffler. Could be Shaw at the line. It is Schreffler eliminated. 24 of Schreffler out of action. Down to the 46 of Bailey and the 15 of Finlayson. Schreffler, pretend he's not out there. He's racing for nothing right now. He's wasting fuel. 46 of Shaw on the inside, racing to the checkered. It's going to be Finlayson in the 15. Picking up the win in the Crack the Whip race tonight. Let's put your hands together for Kyle Finlayson. Intermission time, which means we have spectator drags coming up in just a moment. Spectator drags coming up in just a moment. We'll get those lined up pit side. They're being signed in right now over in the pit.
You have a Honda Civic and a F10. Yeah, but the F10, of course, isn't on my list. James Hester didn't sign up. The first round's always the toughest, Chris. You never know who's in what vehicle. And of course, this sheet doesn't have car colors. I like car colors. Yeah. Who's on the outside there, Matt? We got a couple Civics. Check who's on the outside for us. Because we, again, have car color down here. Bruce Stahl is on the outside. Guess what? He was on the oh boy, yeah, the old face on. Oh boy. On the outside of me is my father, Ted Mackey. It's like Ted Nugent. It's like Mikey Ranger on the inside, huh? Man, that's super. What? Practice out. Yeah, Ford Thunderbird. Cool, Harris here. A different Dan Harris. Okay. You are going to love it. Billy Yoder's out of action, by the way. That's the 44 Thunderbird. So we got a Sunfire. Brandon Brown in the blue Sunfire. And another Camaro on the outside, a first Camaro, I think, the first James Simmons outside, and says, firstly, that's referred to the midvale. Here's Brandon Brown. It is the final of the that is a view. Chuck Hensler in the 76 package. I thought it was Pat Miller in there. No, that's Pappy still sitting up there. He's comfortable sitting up above me first. And Josh Ousley on the outside in the Monte Carlo SS. And he's got the gear shift up on the column. He's got it. The first turn. He's got 3 on the 2. That's part of the stand there. It's a number 1, 3, 4. How's it better look back? The time coming. Turn number 4. And round number 2 for the truck. James Hester. So we've got round 3 for the truck. It's the first race. 4. This is going to be over. Taking a run back over the outside. That's the second part of turn 4. He deferred to not do that. I don't know why. He didn't want to squat out here, no. It's been embarrassing for me. People have seen him move. On the outside lane, it is Josh Huff. The bumper was great. No, it's pretty cool. I think it's the bumper to keep it cool. I want to get plenty of air for the radiator. In the Pontiac. On the inside. Here we go. The camera on the one. Go. No. Okay, Matt says that was here on the line. Okay, that's going right. So we'll go with that. Oh, yeah. We got the SS back out there. That has dropped down to the inside. I like the finish chances in this for Anthony to win that. That's right. Come to the line. Put back into the line. It's time with the lucky midvale on the inside.
Not right there.
In our spectator drags, Daniel here. Wins tonight. Well, congratulations, sir. Was it you and Victor Lane a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, it was.
All right, so you were able to beat the Subaru, I heard, a couple weeks ago. Is that right?
Yeah, it seems like those cars are the biggest competition here. That and that Evo. I was kind of scared of that Evo. There's a little bit of stuff done to it.
No, the last race, not the championship race. That one was relatively easy for you, but the one before you knew you had to get a good start. We might have to go back to instant replay. Maybe Tuesday or Wednesday we'll have an official decision if that race will count. Looked like the go pedal might have been touched before the green flag waved. I'm not sure. We'll have to go back to instant replay.
I seen him inch up first, so I was going. They said get on inside guys, so
There you go. Congratulations.
thank you.
Dan Herron wins tonight. Spectator drag. Boom, Herron.
"12 laps were set to go. Michael Varnes in the 95 and the 72 of Derek Cordia. Green flag, turn 4. Terry Coletti looks him over. Jason Neely looks the opposite way, and the green flag is out. Derek Cordia into the lead. Here comes Keith Anderson. Anderson for the second spot. Cruises into second. Pulls up alongside the 72 of Derek Cordia. Derek Cordia leading lap number 1, but Keith Anderson just about to take it away. Keith Anderson on the high lane, down the back stretch we go, and Anderson pulls out into the race lead. Anderson out front, Derek Cordia in second. Keith Anderson, check it out. Exiting stage right. Now in cruise control, if the truck still has it. Joe Leinard, driver you picked, starting to make a move there. Chris gets on the outside lane, maybe has it set up for the long green flag runs tonight.
He's gonna need a yellow, I think.
He's going to need 3 blacks. He's taking a look low. That's a beautiful truck, though. Great job on the graphics and the paint scheme on the 82 of Joe Leinard. So single file formation. They're going to be closing in. This could dice things up a little bit. Alan Bedard out of Uricksville in the 751 is right now moving over for Keith Anderson. Keith Anderson all by himself at the front. 7 laps in. 5 to go. Anderson down the back stretch with a little over a half straightaway lead on Derek Cordia. Go to our satellite view to get the exact lead, and it's going to be 18.5 truck length lead right now over the 72 of Cordia. 3 to go.
We need one of them drones to fly over top to give us an exact readout.
Rosenberry crew had that drone here for practice a year or so ago. That was a neat-looking deal. Going to be 2 to go for the 32 of Anderson, catching the 4 of Preston Kelly. Kelly going to move over to the outside lane, allow the 32 of Anderson to get by on the low side. And the white flag ready to wave. One final lap for the Barnhill driver, Keith Anderson. Half a lap to go. Anderson cruising. Second is Cordia. Third is Leinard. Varnes is fourth. And off of turn number 4, the Doggone Trucking M&D Design 32. Barnhill's Keith Anderson winning in Dusty Nicholas, his stepson's truck, 72. Derek Cordia second. Joe Leinard third. 4th spot to the 95 of Michael Varnes. As we wrap up our first of 5 features tonight at Midvale Speedway. Climbing out from behind the wheel. Let's have a nice round of applause for Keith Anderson, your winner of the Finish Line Motors mini truck race tonight. Keith, in hot laps, blew the engine up in his red 32 truck, so he jumped in Dusty's truck to garner points. Keith, congratulations on the win. It didn't go quite as well as you would have liked tonight. Normally you and Dusty both out there racing together. This Dusty's truck that he's raced all season, he's won a couple times in it. You had to drive it tonight to garner points because your truck had some bad mechanical problems in hot laps.
Yeah, it's looking for a motor.
Not good. You don't have any spares sitting around, huh?
No, they sure don't.
But this thing's pretty fast.
Yeah, it's a lot faster than my truck. I got to thank Dusty for letting me drive it today.
Well, I thought it was the driver for a while, but you probably proved that wrong tonight. Is that what you were trying to do?
Yeah, I think. But,
You have some people you want to thank.
I got to thank Dusty for letting me race his truck while he sat and watched. So,
He cheered well.
yeah.
Let's have a nice round of applause for Keith Anderson. Winner of the Crack the Whip race earlier, Doug McMillan starts on the pole. 55, Brandon Bailey. 21 is Bryce Allensworth, starting 6th. Starting 7th, the number 3 of Tad Grove. Starting 8th, the 0 of Lucas Ripley. He was last week's feature winner. It was his first career feature win in the modified division. In the final row of the Invert, the 2-car of second fast qualifier Lee McCreary, and the number 82 car of Bob Siblett Jr. He was a top qualifier tonight. He's also the points leader in the 82. Ready to roll coming off of turn 4. Doug McMillan, Andrew Wise to the stripe in 4 for the start. Green is out. The two make a little bit of contact. They make a little bit more. Wise will give McMillan some room. Wise a little too high up. The track will stay green. We're underway at the start of the Summit Racing Economy Modified 25-lapper. McMillan and Wise still going at it. Wise power pushes up the track. McMillan will lead lap number 1. Doug McMillan the leader. First lap complete. 24 to go, and a gaggle of cars coming off of turn number 2. Look out, middle of the backstretch. Last week's winner, Lucas Ripley, has to check up to avoid a melee. Philip Cox, he's going to be first to challenge the X54 of Doug McMillan. Trey Williams back in the field. A little tire smoke as he locked him up going into the first corner. Still good racing back in the field. Lucas Ripley, bold move to the inside. Dive bombs the 21 of Bryce Allensworth, who gives him room. 3 laps complete, 22 laps to go. Leading the way, Doug McMillan, second. Philip Cox, third. Andrew Wise, fourth. Brandon Bailey in fifth. The 3 of Tad Grove. Back to about the 10th spot for our double wide racing. 27, Braden Swaney has passed the top qualifier. Also has gotten by the 21 of Allensworth. So a good start to this race for a heat race winner earlier tonight, Braden Swaney. Keep our eyes on Swaney, Sibla, Allensworth, Krebs, and Courtney moving up as well in the 5. Justin Courtney having a nice run after a heat race collision. Sent him in the wall. The crew did a nice job to repair that number 5 car. 6 laps down, 6 in the books for Doug McMillan, Philip Cox. Wise Bailey in the battle now for 5th. Second fast qualifier, Lee McCreary going to the high lane. McCreary to the outside of the 3 of Tad Grove for the 5th position. So far, Grove able to keep the door shut. The 2 of McCreary. Now side by side. Sibla going to get back by the 27 of Braden Swaney back in the field. That position changing hands. And yellow flag is out. Caution flag is out for the 92 of Mike Hudson. 7 laps in the book and 18 laps to go, and green flag ready to wave for Big Mac, Doug McMillan, and the 09 of Philip Cox is a great restart. Cox a little bit of an advantage down into the first turn, going to push a little bit in the outside groove, still has the advantage coming off a 2, gets in some of the loose stuff, but still keeps the forward momentum, and they make contact going down into the third corner, and we got trouble. 09 of Cox and X54 of McMillan get together. I think it might have got the suspension on the left front of McMillan's car. Looked like the 09 of Cox started closing the door on McMillan. Event, the Keister Implement 75 coming our way in just a few moments at the conclusion of this modified feature. Original front row starters are back there again, and the green is out there both sideways, and here we go. 55 of Bailey's going to get to the inside. Now he makes some contact with McMillan. They continue on. A little dicey. Here comes Lee McCreary. Lee McCreary might be in the money spot right now. That outside lane moving up. Lee McCreary. I think looking for his first feature win of the season, right?
Correct.
3 wide. This probably won't work, but Braden Swaney drives it in there. Nice move by Braden Swaney. Ripley gets caught up in the outside lane. Braden Swaney up to 5th. What a run for the 27 car right now. Bryce Allensworth follows him closely. Lee McCreary again trying the outside. 15 to go at the line. 10 in this time for Doug McMillan. Top qualifier, Bob Sibla Jr. Oh, we got trouble up ahead too. A couple different spins right around the same time. And yellow flag is out. Caution is out as Wise in the 14. Coming to the green, McCreary and Swaney in row number 2, and green flag is back out. McMillan back into the lead. Here comes the number 2 car of McCreary. He's one to watch now. Second fast qualifier, McCreary up to second. McCreary still boxed in. You see Braden Swaney's been able to get back to the bottom. Nearly made some contact with Bryce Allensworth. Running pretty well, though, still in the top 5. Siblis put his car in the outside lane. He's running in 5th or 6th, depending on which point of the racetrack you're watching. Going to be halfway this time. 13 laps in, 12 laps to go. McMillan sideways off the exit of the corner. Lee McCreary looking for that opening. Oh, and there's some contact. Allensworth gets into the 2 car of McCreary. $12 left in this one. McMillan and McCreary. Green flag ready to go. Turn 4. Good start for the 2 of them. Good start throughout our field. And into turn 1 we race. McMillan. The lead going into 3. McCreary fighting hard outside. McMillan's car has gotten free coming off the exit of the corners a couple of times. Right now, if that happens, that would put McCreary out front, but so far not happening. 10 to go this time. 15 laps in, 10 laps remaining for the X54 of Doug McMillan, just barely with the advantage there. McCreary starting to pull forward in the outside lane. He's got a good rhythm going in the number 2 car. Still a good run for the 27 of Swaney back and forth at the line this time. Man, McCreary's got him at the line that time by. Lee McCreary with a slight advantage that time, and it's going to be an even bigger advantage now as McCreary pulls forward. We'll close the door on McMillan down in turn 3. Then Swaney makes contact with a 55 of Brandon Bailey, and yellow is out. Braden Swaney in the 27 just clipped the 55 of Bailey going into 3. Now have to do it again, but he's good in that outside groove. He had a pretty good rhythm. McMillan on the inside, McCreary on the outside. They race over to turn 4. That's where they'll get the green. Here we go. Even better start for McCreary this time in the 2. He might have him clear going to turn 3. McCreary will clear. McMillan on the backstretch. He does it again. And here comes Sibla. Up to 4th. Sibla going for 3rd. Still plenty of time. 8 laps to go. Lucas Ripley, a nice run for the 0, coming back through the field for the 4th position. Oh, he and Sibla, that was almost an accident. Sibla hangs on to 4th. Can't make the run he needs to get around Bailey and Lee McCreary. It's 11 o'clock at the hotel and he's checking out. Lee McCreary pulling away. McMillan running 2nd and Lucas Ripley off the pace. Ripley done. 55, Brandon Bailey running in 3rd. Sibla running 4th. Bumper to bumper to bumper. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th right now. 5 laps to go. 5 to go for the number 2 car of Lee McCreary. Oh, contact and around goes Wise. So Wise in the 14, Allensworth in the 21 get together. Lee McCreary, the leader in the 2. McMillan second in the X54, and the green is out. The 55 of Brandon Bailey for second. He's going to move up into the second spot. Here comes Philip Cox. Hey, look at Philip Cox in the 09, rallying through the field. He's gone for third. Nicely done. This is a race where if you went to the back early, you could definitely get back toward the front because everybody kept causing yellows, sending others to the back. 4 to go, 21 complete. Battle for third. Philip Cox will win that battle at the line on lap 21. Sibla will move into fourth. Sibla moves into fourth. Braden Swaney, guess what? He's starting to rally. He might get back up into the top 5. Sibla looking for third. He's in there. Makes some contact. Here's Swaney. He goes to the inside. 3 wide move, and Braden Swaney's going to move up to third. 2 to go at the line. Heads up move. Braden Swaney, maybe one of the best races of his career. 2-car of McCreary leading the way. Second spot, Bailey. Third, Swaney. Fourth is Sibla. White flag is out. 1 to go. Pretty exciting racing throughout this one, despite some of the yellows we've had. But a heads-up move by Swaney late might give him a podium finish if Sibla doesn't get him, and it doesn't look like he will. We're on the final lap, we're on the final turn, and we're at the checkered flag, and it's going to be the number 2 car of Lee McCreary taking victory number 1 of the season. Second spot to Brandon Bailey. Third, the 27 of Swaney. Fourth to the 82 of Sibla. Philip Cox finishing in the 7th spot. Exciting last couple of laps in our Summit Racing Economy Modified tonight, and Lee McCreary claims the win. Proving that rev limiter works on the number 2 car. McCreary going to turn it around and burn one out with that crate engine. Great run for Swaney in third. Good run for the 55. You saw a couple of great runs by a couple of young drivers there, Braden Swaney and Brandon Bailey finishing second and third, and it was a great run. Swaney pretty excited climbing out down here. But Lee McCreary, he's pretty excited about this one. I think our top 3, the way they did it tonight, all having to make a lot of passes to get where they did.
Wife's birthday, too, or pretty close, too, I think it was.
The Gribble Fabrications, M&S Racing, Maslin Machine, Riddle Trucking, Wisman Motorsports. Number 2, R&R Carbs, McCombs Market. Lee McCreary wins tonight. Wow. Interesting race. Started 9th, qualified well. This thing was hooked up tonight. Put yourself in a great position, and that thing was good in the outside lane as well.
Oh, yeah. I want to thank Doug McMillan. He's a hell of a guy. He run me clean. I run him clean. I don't think I hit anybody tonight. Mark that down on the calendar.
Hey, maybe it's because I was here. I got to see it tonight. You ran great. It was a great run for this number 2. Good to get back in victory lane. You've had some tough luck, some tough runs this year, and it's good to feel good again in victory lane.
Oh, yeah. I love it. It's for all these guys, all the fans. I know a lot of them don't like me, but I try to put on a good show. Before I forget, I need to thank, first of all, my nephew. He's not here. He builds all my bumpers for me, so you know he's busy. Mikey, I love you, buddy. Swaney, finished third. Scott, his stepdad, Dave, Bree, Mike, Lisa, my wife especially. She lettered this thing. My daughter, Vanessa. And it's my wife's birthday. Happy birthday. And your mom gets the trophy.
All right, your winner.
One other one, George Riddle. Thank you, buddy.
Lee McCreary.
Over here, caught up with second place finisher 2 weeks in a row, Brandon Bailey, and man, I'll tell you what, I really thought you was going to get your first one tonight.
Yeah, I thought so. Car was decent the whole night. Just wasn't there. We needed caution to get it back packed up. But other than that, it was a good night, and it's fun, man.
Sooner or later, you're going to get one of these, ain't you?
Yeah, it's going to come one of these nights. But
Congratulations, man. Anybody you want to thank on this machine tonight?
yeah, the sponsors, Vaughn's Pub, Heron Moore out of Schertzville. My dad and my brother, they can't help him. Pit crew, my grandpa especially, if it wasn't for him, he wouldn't be here right now. But other than that, it was a good night.
Congratulations, man. Good second place run.
Thanks, Chris.
Brandon Bailey in the 55, your second place finisher.
I got the third place finisher over here, Chris. Going to get a word with Braden Sweeney here real quick. What a run it was for him tonight. Braden, good run there in the top three. You had a great run going early. You started outside the invert, started behind the top qualifier, moved up into the top five, made some incidental contact. The guy spun out, had to go to the back. Then you get a couple guys that make some contact as you're moving up through the field again. Drive underneath Sibla and the other guy that he was racing with, and you pick up third. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, we were fighting the car all through hot laps, qualifying in the heat race, and we had a bad push. Matthew Mills and his team were here helping us out because my setup guys down in Jurassic. So I want to thank Dink, Gribble, my family, all my sponsors. It's been a heck of a night.
There you go, third place run. Great run tonight for Braden Sweeney.
I see old Braden didn't want to come over here and get interviewed by me, I guess. That's all right. It's okay, kid.
Chevrolet 21. The number 80 car of Brent Nelson. He was top qualifier for a good while earlier tonight. The 80 car, again, driven by Brent Nelson out of Petersburg, West Virginia. 2 career wins on the series. The Berg Construction, Atkinson Welding Chevrolet. And your top qualifier driving the number 7. He put down the track record lap earlier tonight. Larry Berg out of Petersburg, West Virginia, making just his second career start. 75 laps of racing action for the Super Cup Stock Car Series. Race director, series promoter Joe Schmaling atop the tower watching over. Call the shots on this one. Terry Coletti holding the green flag in hand. 51 of Harvey Harrison, veteran with the series, and the 00 of Dan Baney, who leads the points coming into this one. Green flag, turn 4, we are underway, and they're spinning those American Racer tires. High horsepower in those heavy cars going down into the first corner. Clean and green through 1 and 2 down the backstretch. Harrison goes into the lead. Here's another Harrison in the number 5. We're ready to take that number 2 spot from Baney in the 00. That Days of Thunder lookalike car will hang on to the second spot. Oh, and we got contact going down into the first turn. We're able to stay green, and now Cromer in the 52 keeps rolling. Now comes to a stop. Yellow out. So we get 1 lap in, 1 lap complete, 74 to go. Caution for debris up in the turn. It was the 52 of Cromer. Just in that chain reaction deal, accordion style accident, couldn't get stopped. Off of turn number 4, we're ready to go back to action. 1 complete, 74 to go. Cromer actually going back to his pit stall as well. Green is out. So we've lost a couple of our competitors early in the lead. The 51 of Harvey Harrison. Oh, look out on the backstretch. Look at the top qualifier. What a move by the oldest driver in the series, the number 7 of Larry Berg. He's up to third. 51 of Harvey Harrison leading the way. Second, the 00 of Dan Baney. And third, the 7 of Larry Berg. Berg, a driver that I noticed right away in practice, runs one of the best lines here at Midvale as far as drivers with this series. And it paid off in qualifying, may pay off in the race. He's already up to the 3rd spot. Battle for the 5th position. It's the number 5 of Brandon Harrison. Races with a 21 of Tim McLaughlin. McLaughlin running the 2nd lane. 4 complete. Single file. Very competitive field. You see everybody basically staying bumper to bumper other than the 15 of Brian Harrison. And for the lead, dropping to the bottom, the 00 of Baney going to pull alongside the 51 of Harrison. Top spot battle. Also, Brent Nelson loses the 4th position to the 5 of Brandon Harrison. Leading the way, the 00 of Dan Baney. Good racing action right now. Here's the 7, Larry Berg, up into the 2nd spot. Berg has taken 2nd. Berg closing on the 00 of Dan Baney. Side by side for the 5th, 6th, and 7th positions. Oh, McLaughlin really drives it in there. He's going to get by Nelson. Nelson, who qualified well earlier in the 80 car, has dropped back to the 7th spot. So a tough start for the 80 of Brent Nelson. Maybe not to his liking early in this race. Dan Baney has won 2 of 3 races this season with the Super Cup stock cars, and he leads the way. He drives that 00. He's from Clearfield, Pennsylvania, where he's picked up the 2 wins at his home track this year. Del Grosso Foods and Rock and Ruthless Tattoo Parlor Ford. But he has top qualifier approaching. Larry Berg making just his 2nd career start with the series, his 1st here at Midvale. And he picked up on the line to run at this racetrack pretty early on. It's like he had watched some video coming into this one. And did his homework well, and he's closing on the leader, Dan Baney. 21 car of McLaughlin got into the backstretch retaining wall last time around. Contact down in turn 1. We got a spin down in 1 and 2. The 9 of Ansel. The 9 of Ansel and the 21 of McLaughlin go around. Chooses their position, whether they want the high lane or the low lane, much like when we do the cone races here at Midvale. And it's going to be the 21 of McLaughlin getting back out onto the racetrack to join the tail of the field. Here comes the 00 of Baney, and the number 51 of Harrison. Green is out. We got him 3 wide going into the first corner. The 5 of Harrison has to check it up. And for the lead, the 51 of Harvey Harrison trying to get back out front. Already see the front rotors glowing on the 9 of Lou Ansel. Baney will hold on to the lead. Harrison has dropped into 3rd now as the 7 of Larry Berg has taken over 2nd. Larry Berg, a former motorcycle racer, but doing a nice job in the stock car tonight. Heading to the pits, the 15 of Brian Harrison. Brian Harrison, looks like he may be done, had the damage from earlier in this race. Single file, first, back to the 8th position. The 8 cars remaining out of the 11 that started this Keister Implement 75 at Midvale Speedway for 4th. Here we go for the 4th spot. Number 5 going to pick up a position, Brandon Harrison. Up to 4th, back to 5th goes Bill Ashton in the 35. I think Larry Berg right now in the number 7 just riding along, watching the 00 of Baney. He doesn't need to pounce right now. It's still so early in the race. Don't want to use up your stuff early. I think, if I remember right, Cromer kind of let the race settle down before the end, and that's kind of when he made his way to the front a year ago. And those top two seem to be the stout competitors right now. But don't count anybody out, including that 51 of Harvey Harrison, a veteran with the series. Going to be lap number 20 on the board this time. 20 laps in, 55 laps to go for 00 Dan Baney. Harvey Harrison is closing that gap up front again with the top two. Soon to be a 3-car breakaway for those podium positions. Lou Ansel at the back of the field, up the track. My goodness, McLaughlin going to run out of room, and McLaughlin goes around. He will do a 360, back it into the infield. Yellow is out. He will continue backing it around. He might do a 720. He's good on the inside lane. We'll see how he is on the outside. He was up to second from the 6th starting spot, your top qualifier. Larry Berg in the 7. Here we go. Green flag, set to go. Back to action, and Berg grabs a gear, goes down into the corner. Baney gets into the turn better. Berg tries to close the door on Harrison. Harrison was already there. Fortunately, they did not spin, and it looks like all tires are up. Oh my, the 21 really diving it in there in turn 3 as on the inside lane, Tim McLaughlin makes his move for the 5th position. McLaughlin up to 5th. Harrison, one of the many, back to 6th. It's the 5 of Brandon Harrison. Running 7th, the 80 of Brent Nelson. Leading, Dan Baney. 2nd, Larry Berg. 3rd, Harvey Harrison. 4th spot, the 35 of Bill Ashton. And 5th, the 21 of Tim McLaughlin. Now the 5th position is going to change hands. Harrison moves up into 5th. And really for the first time in this one, Berg in that 7 starting to challenge for the lead. About the 1/3 mark of the race. The next time by we will be. And maybe that will be go time for Larry Berg. Baney turning a 15.4. Berg turning a 15.3. Can't go much quicker. He's boxed in right now behind the leader. Piece of something hanging off the right side of the 00 of Baney. Could be a piece of exhaust. You might get a better look at it, Chris. Baney opening up that inside to the inside for the lead. It's Berg. Berg rubs a little paint. Berg going to shoot into the lead on the backstretch. Closes the door. Look out. The two get together. Berg closed the door too quickly on Baney, and that could have been real ugly. That could have been nasty. Harrison goes into 2nd. So Berg leads the way. Harrison's moved up to 2nd. Back to 3rd is Baney. Running in the 4th spot is Brandon Harrison. Running 5th is Bill Ashton. Getting around Midvale Speedway. Pretty good lap times tonight with a different tire compound and selection in 2015. Just a small piece of debris coming off the right side of the 00. And now Baney's going to recover, move up to 2nd.
Just a piece of the side skirt, Adam. Just a side skirt on the 00.
Yeah, it is hanging off the 00.
Yeah, side skirt.
And now he's back up into the 2nd spot is Baney. Dan Baney back up to 2nd, back to 3rd, Harvey Harrison. Brandon Harrison running 4th. Bill Ashton running in the 5th spot. Final 2 running is Brent Nelson in the 80 car. And another move toward the front for the 5 of Brandon Harrison. So let's not count out the 5 yet. He's on his way to the front. So the 5 of Brandon Harrison back up into the 3rd spot, and he is running strong. Brandon Harrison in the 5, on the move back to the front. Might just be timing this one up right. Approaching halfway here in a few laps. Leader turning a 15.5. Second place Baney turning a 15.3. Previous lap, Baney was also quicker, so Berg actually not as quick as the second place, third place, fourth place competitors. Could he be cruising a little bit? Going to be lap 37. They're going to show the halfway signal this time. It'll be 37 in. And 38 laps to go. 38 to go for your leader, Larry Berg. But he has some challengers coming, and they're closing the gap as Dan Baney in the 00. Making up some ground on Larry Berg. Third place competitor. Harrison off the pace in the 5. Bad break for Brandon Harrison, as he had just taken 3rd, and it looks like one of the lights are on, and that could it be running warm possibly, as he is slowed in the number 5 car. Could be maybe having some brake issues. That could be an issue as well. Who knows on the number 5 car. But he has definitely slowed the number 5, Brandon Harrison. The lights on the dash sometimes could be the signal. It's something running a little warm, so maybe trying to cool it down. Notice none of the other cars going by with dash lights on. This could be the warning lights for engine temperature, and it doesn't look like it's cooling down any for the 5. Still, lights are on. 40
He actually has 2 on, Adam. 2 lights on the dash.
Could be oil temp and engine temp. Coolant. Going down a lap, the 35 of Bill Ashton. For the first time, Ashton down a lap. They do award a free pass, a lucky dog on each of the yellows. So if he gets a lucky dog, gets a yellow, he might be in position to get his lap back. "43 laps in the books. Going to be lap number 44. 44 laps in at the line for the number 7 of Larry Berg. And Berg, after the 00 of Baney was closing for a while, is not closing now. The 7 of Berg pulling away and turning laps, very consistent in the 15.4s. See, the 5 of Harrison remains on the raceway. It looks like he started to pick up the pace again. Still lights on.
Battle brewing. Battle brewing for the
trouble down in turn number 4 as around goes the 21 of McLaughlin for a second time. McLaughlin spins, brings out the yellow. We're right in front of the leader. And fortunately for Larry Berg in the 7, he was able to make it through without an issue, and that's going to bunch up the field for the final 30 laps of this one. And leading the way, just his second Super Cup Stock Car Series start, the number 7 of Larry Berg. Green is out. Good battle up front, top spot. Harrison off the second turn, has to check up, got it a bit free in the outside lane. And Nelson in the 80. Could he have been saving that car early in the race? Because now the 80 of Nelson looks like he's going to challenge. Thought he was going to get squeezed into the wall, so he checked up. Now to the inside goes Brandon Harrison in the 5. Harrison stepped up the pace again. He drives it into the corner deep in turn number 3. 48 laps in for the number 7 of Larry Berg. So Nelson thought maybe he was saving it for the end. Maybe not. The car fading again on the number 80. He was pretty good in qualifying earlier, but just not matching it here in the race. McLaughlin in the 21 car has been working that car hard in this race. He's looped it a couple times. It will be 50 laps in. 50 laps in this time. 25 laps to go down to a short track Saturday night feature length event for the 7 of Larry Berg. Berg leads. Harrison second. Bainey in third. Brandon Harrison fourth. And running fifth, Brent Nelson. Still out there racing McLaughlin and Ashton. We've lost out of this race Lou Ansell in the 95, Brian Harrison in the 15, and the 2 Cromer cars. After just one lap, Kevin Cromer and Aaron Cromer pulled in. Field kind of sorting themselves out once again. Separation and the gap pretty big between each of our competitors. Down to the final 22 laps. For the final position down in turn 3, you see the Ashton 35, the McLaughlin 21 racing in 4. Third, Brandon Harrison, low side of Dan Bainey, third spot up for grabs. And Harrison's going to take it from Bainey. So Bainey, the point leader, losing a position to Brandon Harrison on the front stretch at the line. Less than 20 to go, to be 18 to go this time. Brent Nelson stepping it up again. Brent Nelson in the 80. Here he comes. Inside of Dan Bainey, and a yellow flag is out of that 21 of McLaughlin. Didn't lock down the brakes, back down into the side. It's been a few in this one for Ashton and McLaughlin. McLaughlin having a rough one. Could this be the final shootout to the checkered? Here we go off of turn number 4 as the Street Sox line up in the pits for their feature next. We're ready to get back to green, and we are coming off of 4. Larry Berg, Harvey Harrison. Harrison got sideways off of 2 on the last restart. Does a little bit here. Drops into line behind Larry Berg. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth single file up front. Brandon Harrison up into third. Brent Nelson looking for an opening, trying to get around the 00 of Bainey. So far, can't do it. 58 on the board, 58 laps. That's 7 of Berg. Rockets off the bottom of the corner. Harrison tries to keep his momentum up in the middle, but Berg hammers the gas early after setting the car in the middle. And he is smooth, Larry Berg, getting around this Midvale Speedway. 15 laps to go, 15 to go for the 7 of Berg. Larry Berg. Harvey Harrison, Brandon Harrison, Dan Bainey and Brent Nelson. Nelson all over the 00. We got some debris on the front stretch. Yellow for the debris on the front straightaway, just past the finish line, middle of the racing grooves. And yellow out for the debris gives us 14 laps to go. $14 to go. Super Cup Stock Car Series ready for restart. Turn 4. Larry Berg, Harvey Harrison, and the green is back out. Berg's going to lead coming off of 2. Harrison still working that outside lane. Can't do it. Harvey Harrison into 3rd. Racing with Dan Baney. Oh, Harrison went down, hit the rumble bumps in turn 1. That upset the car a little bit, and Baney pulling back forward as 3rd and 4th continues to battle. 12 laps to go for Berg. Brandon Harrison, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, still in a good battle through 3 and 4. And the 5, Brandon Harrison pulls out in the 3rd spot. Going to get tight for 4th. Brent Nelson up into 4th. Nelson another spot forward. To get up there to contend for the top 2 spots, he's going to need a late race yellow, but Brent Nelson all of a sudden is a challenger. But I think he might have waited too long. Brent Nelson in 4th, but right now can't get a run on the 3rd place competitor, Brandon Harrison. 8 laps remaining at the line this next time around. It will be lap 67 complete. 67 down for the 7 of Larry Berg. And he whips off a couple of great laps. 15-1, 15-2, 15-1. Some of the fastest laps of the race being turned. Oh, and we're going to have a yellow. Brent Nelson gets into the 5. Brent Nelson, Brandon Harrison. It was Nelson driving in late. To try to fix that issue, got something dragging underneath the front of the 80. Nelson to the pits. And Harvey Harrison, once again, they restart side by side with 8 laps from the checkered. Good restart into the corner goes Harrison, goes push up the banking a little bit. McLaughlin gets up into the 4 spot after some struggles early in this race, but right now a chance to really close in on the podium. Sideways was the 7 of Berg coming off of 4 that time. That's got to make him wonder. He looked good coming off of 2. He's going to pull away. That 7 car rockets down the middle of the straightaway. And now for 4th, the 5 of Brandon Harrison back up into 4th. Brent Nelson for the 5th position. It's going to be 5 to go. 5 to go this time as we're down to lap number 70. Brent Nelson inside on the outside. It's the 21 of McLaughlin. Oh, it got close as McLaughlin nearly got pinched up in turn 2. 4 to go. All Larry Berg right now, making his first career Midvale start, second career series start. Came from the motorcycle ranks. And he's from Petersburg, West Virginia, in 4th spot. Point leader, Dan Baney, going to move into 2nd as he battles with his closest point challenger, Harvey Harrison. And he gets him, oh, and then Brandon Harrison gets into Harvey down in turn 1. White flag coming out, 1 to go for the 7 of Larry Berg. Berg down the backstretch into turn 3, still bumping Nelson as well as the 5 of Harrison. The Grant County Mulch Incorporated Chevrolet, Larry Berg, the Midvale victory. 2nd spot to Dan Baney. And 3rd spot to the 51 of Harvey Harrison. LeGrand County Mulch, number 7, taking his victory lap here at Midvale Speedway, claiming his first career Super Cup Stock Car Series win. Second place, point leader Dan Baney. Good points night for the 00 in the Days of Thunder retro paint scheme with his 00 on the side. In third place, runner Harvey Harrison. Nice little burnout from Larry Berg up in the turn 3 and 4 portion of the racetrack, as he will come to downtown Ford, Victory Lane. Nice run for a driver first making his first Midvale start. Could tell right away in practice earlier. Also reportedly the oldest driver with the series. Didn't show his age tonight, showed his veteran talents behind the wheel of the number 7. Let's hear for our second and third place finishers. Dan Baney on the 00 car and Harvey Harrison in the 51, as they are first and second in the series standings coming in. This guy has run just 2 of the 4 events so far this year, and he's ready to climb out from behind the wheel of the Grant County Mulch number 7. He's from West Virginia, taking his time, getting all of his safety devices unstrapped, unbuckled, helmet off, earpieces out, steering wheel off. Reaches down to get himself a ball cap. Glasses on. And he can hear you now. Your winner, Larry Berg. Larry, congratulations. First start here at Midvale Speedway, only second start with the series. I watched you in practice earlier. Right away when you came onto the track, you were running a really good lane, so you picked up on it pretty quickly.
Yeah, we've been pretty good all weekend, but didn't know if it's going to be able to hang on or not. I was losing our forward bike there at the end, so afraid I might have used it up.
Didn't use it up, though. You were turning some 15-1s, some 15-2s late in the race, so your times were pretty close to what you turned in qualifying.
Yeah, that's good. The car was set up good, so thank everybody for that.
You're a former motorcycle racer?
Yes, sir.
So when did you move over to stock cars?
Went to go-karts first and stayed with motorcycles, and this was actually the second time I was ever in a stock car as far as a race.
I'd say you did pretty well. Let's hear it for the winner, Larry Berg.
Second place finisher Dan Baney, still your points leader. Man, I'll tell you what, you guys battled hard for that second spot. You was leading early, and then he got around you. What was you thinking from the car?
We took off there, and things were going pretty good, and I lost brakes. About 25 laps in, they started getting soft, and then 7 took off there, and man, I tried to stay with them, but I couldn't. And then Harvey got up there, and I think Brandon got up there too, and man, that was some fun, hard racing. And I was pumping the brakes, and then we got like the 2 cautions there, and got them back for like a 5 or 6 laps. So when we had 8 at the end, I thought, well, let's hope for the best, I guess. And ran, and it was fun.
Well, you were able to get around Harvey, who you're battling for that points lead, and with only 2 races to go, I'll tell you what, this car was hooked up tonight, despite the brake problems, but good second place run tonight, man. Who you want to thank on this 00?
I definitely want to thank Del Grosso's. I want to thank Rock and Ruthless Tattoo, Full Throttle Signs, who did the wrap. I want to thank all the fans and everybody that came here tonight, and everybody at Midvale. It's an awesome facility. You guys do a lot here, and I can't wait to come back next year.
Congratulations, man. Good second place run.
Thank you.
Dan Baney, your second place finisher. Let's hop over and talk to Harvey Harrison in the 51. Harvey, real quick, how was the car handling for you tonight?
Car started out pretty good, but I was trying to save the brakes in the beginning, and it's hard to keep up when you do that. So you got to kind of pace yourself in a 75-lap race, and everybody's trying to do that, but you get impatient, so you run real hard. But all in all, it was a good night. It was real hard on the brakes right there at the end, trying to keep up with them. But I think I've done all right because I finished, and it's a lot better than being sitting in there on the trailer broke down. So I thank the good Lord for a good race in Southern Coal. My crew members back there, I got my sisters from Michigan, drove all the way up here, and her friend Larry. Steve Stidley's been with me for 25 years. My 2 sons and my wife. I couldn't do it without them. Also, I had another friend from, Michigan, Chad. I hope I haven't forgot anybody, but I had a blast tonight, and I give all the glory to the good Lord.
We won't say again where your family's from up there in that state up north.
Yeah, we're all from up there in West Virginia, but we're proud of it. And that's about all I got to say.
Congratulations. Good third place run, Harvey.
Thank you.
Harvey Harrison, your third place finisher. Dan Bainey, your runner-up. Larry Berg, your winner in your stock car Super Cup Series 75 lap feature presented by Keister Implements.
Hey, Chris.
Yes.
Did you ever take geography in school?
Well, he said his sister was from Michigan.
Oh, okay.
That's what
well,
he said.
we're all from West Virginia.
Well, yeah, he said Michigan.
Okay, well,
we
maybe
can
she
go back
moved
to
there.
the tape. We can go back to the replay on that.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll check with John.
Oh, boy. West Virginia is still, I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so West Virginia is still bad news around here.
Well, we've got 2 features left. J.D. Byrider's Street Stocks coming up next. Twin City Automotive and Stewart Flooring Car. Outside lane, 55, John Bertram. Final 2 starters, 00, Kelly Wissman, and 11 of Mike Martin. Green flag ready to wave, 20 laps the distance. Street Stocks brought to you by J.D. Byrider underway. Passwater's going to go into the lead in the 74 car. Miller fights back inside lane. One of Hoopengartner looks racy in the 3rd spot, but he may get boxed in as Passwaters Jr. will go into the lead. Oh, Passwaters Sr. just about spun it down in turn 4. His son wouldn't have been real happy because right now Passwaters Jr. has a solid run going up front. Hoopengartner might get an opening to the bottom. 3 wide heading to turn 3. Look out. Close call between Colton Ritchie in the middle. On the bottom, Waylon Orr in 75. Passwaters up top. Passwaters actually going to come out of that smelling like a rose. Up front, lead battle continues. Passwaters Jr., the 74. Todd Miller, the 77. Passwaters Jr. clears him, but he pushes up too high in 4. That brings Miller back into the race. And around goes Waylon Orr in turn number 4. Got some contact from behind. The 1 of Hoopengartner, 75 of Passwaters Sr. Green flag ready to wave, 18 laps from the finish. 2 laps in the books. We're back underway. And it's going to be Passwaters Jr., the 74, pulling out with a slight advantage. We got him beaten and banging at about 8th on back. That settles down a little bit. Passwaters Jr. out front. 3 laps complete. Green flag is out. Passwaters back out front. 1 car of Hoopengartner moving forward on the inside lane, and around goes the 00 of Wissman again. He'll keep on rolling, and we'll be able to keep this one under green. Green flag still out. Passwaters, Hoopengartner, Waylon Orr. Passwaters Jr. single file formation up front. There's some contact between 3rd and 4th. Waylon Orr in 3rd. And running fourth, the 44. Here comes Hoopengarner. Gets a run to the inside of Passwaters. Not quite in far enough. Passwaters going to drive it in a little bit too deep. He's going to open up the inside lane again for Hoopengarner, but he closes it before Hoopengarner gets there. Hoopengarner to the inside of Passwaters. He's in there this time. Passwaters will give him room. Hoopengarner still racing side by side for the lead. Lap number 7 on the board. Hoopengarner inching forward. Hoopengarner down into turn number 3. Wheel to wheel on the bottom lane. He's going to pull forward and take over the top spot. Waylon Orr in second. Passwaters back to third now. 2 of the fast cars, Larry Smith, Kyle Grove, 4th and 5th. Waylon Orr up into the number 2 position as Gary Hoopengarner leads the way. 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Great battle there between those drivers. Halfway, 10 laps in, 10 to go. Halfway mark of this event. And Hoopengarner is out front, trying to pull away, trying to get himself a gap over 2nd, 3rd, and the rest of the pack. But so far, he hasn't been able to gap himself all that much. $12 in, 8 to go for Gary Hoopengarner. Oh, a little bit of contact coming from Grove to Passwaters coming off the corner. He tried to maybe squeeze his nose in there to stay alongside Smith. Now he doesn't have to squeeze it in there. It's being left wide open for a moment. Grove has to drop back to the bottom. Oh, and Grove gets into Larry Smith, and contact made coming off the corner. So the 3 of Grove gets into the 44 of Smith in turn number 2 and brings out the yellow. Smith may have a flat left rear. We'll see. Hoopengarner and Orr. Coming off of turn 4. Coletti waves the green. They're back underway. Hoopengarner the advantage coming off the second turn. Waylon Orr checks up. He's going to drop into line. He wanted to get to the bottom. He will be able to do so as he closes the door on Passwaters. With 6 to go that time. Five laps to go. Waylon Orr is there. Hoopengarner makes one mistake, and Waylon Orr might be on his way to his second pure stock street stock feature win of the season. Piece of debris came off one of the cars. It stayed up by the wall, though, in the middle of 1 and 2. And it will stay up there. So we're in good shape. It's up by the wall in 1 and 2. 4 laps to go. Top 4 in single file formation. Battle for 5th between Colton Ritchie and Kyle Grove. Hoopengarner is the leader, 3 laps left. Kyle Grove recovering. He's on the outside of Bertram for 4th. Kyle Grove outside, Bertram inside. Bertram up the track a little bit in turn 4. Kyler Bertram and Kyle Grove going at it. Bertram machine running pretty strong tonight. White flag is out, 1 to go. Last lap. Checkered flag waving off of turn number 4. Your winner, Gary Hoopengarner. 2nd spot to the 28 of Waylon Orr. 3rd to Kyle Grove. And 4th spot to the 74 of Bob Passwaters Jr. Gary Hoopengarner the victory lap after his feature win here tonight. Good run for Waylon Orr in the 2nd spot. And Kyle Grove rallies to pick up a podium finish in the number 3 after going to the back with just a few laps to go. The express service is number 1 into Victory Lane. First feature win of the season for the number 1 of Gary Hoopengarner. Hey, congrats on the win tonight. Get a little Adam Mackey interview down here in Victory Lane. Good to see you, and a good run tonight for the number 1 car.
You do look a little familiar.
I've been around here once or twice.
It's good to see you.
Hey, good run tonight. The car was pretty good. You had some challengers coming there late, but you late race restart, able to hold them off.
I was worried. Bad time, bad qualifying. Car wasn't turning, and so I kind of had to take it a little easy.
Yeah, you gotta watch that. You've been in that position before.
Yeah, it's tough to go 20 laps with a lot of heat behind you and not make a mistake or go over your time, you know.
But it worked out fine. You have some people you'd like to thank.
This car belongs to Ed Watson from Byesville, Ohio. He owns Express Service. You know, I still got Bill Obio helping me a little, and my brother helped me tonight. My girlfriend, Melissa Bear, she's a ton of help on this thing, and support, you know. So, yeah, pretty much if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry.
You'll thank him later.
Yeah.
Your winner, Gary Hoopengarner.
Over here with 2nd place finisher Waylon Orr, and good run tonight, bud.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I got to give thanks to Tim Dreyer, Brad McLean, and my daughter Maya for all the help.
And anybody else you want to thank on this 28 tonight?
Yes, Mallet Energy, PVL Supply, and Bucky Mowing.
That was a pretty good run, man. You know, you look like you're a little wore out.
Oh, yeah. Well, we were bumper off in the pursuit, so we had to fix all that, and I didn't think I was going to make it, but we did, and it was good, but it started missing at the end.
Well, go get that figured out and go get them next week.
All right, thank you.
Waylon Orr, your 2nd place finisher. See if I can stick in here with Grover. Hey, man, I know you wanted to see Adam tonight, but good 3rd place run.
Yeah, it was tough. I didn't mean to get into 44. I apologize for that, but I never hit anybody. But I didn't think I'd get back up to 3rd that quick.
This thing was on a rail on the outside, man. You was a man possessed.
Yeah, it was. Had a little bit of push after that contact with Larry. I think it messed something up, but it was still decent.
Good run tonight, bud.
Thanks.
Good points day for the number 3 of Kyle Grove.
Mike McDonald's in the 16M. The 0-1 on the inside lane is Hunter Corbett. On the outside, the 30 of Corey Herron. Rounding out our field will be the number 50 car. And that's driven by Dale Beatty and the 19 of Clayton Oliver. Green flag, 20 laps, distance, final race of the night. Canton Auto Salvage Compacts underway, and there goes Dan Bucky making it 3 wide already with Jason Shaw. He's going to slide back into that second lane again. Clean and green, and now trying to thread the needle. Look out. That could have been bad, but Jason Shaw, a talented veteran driver, was able to steer out of it, much like he does in his dirt car. He'll stay in that number 3 position as they cross the line. 1 lap complete, 19 to go. Wes Ennis is on the move in the number 50. Ennis up to 3rd. Britt Van Meter in 2nd. Ennis now will look for the runner-up spot. Dan Bucky to the outside. 46 car of Jason Shaw. That's the battle for 4th. Dan Bucky, normally a given that he finishes 3rd in races in the compacts when I'm here. He's had more 3rd place runs in feature competition the last couple years than anybody in the history of Midvale, I think. Wes Ennis on the inside of Van Meter. Lap 4 will be complete this time. 4 in, 16 to go, and it's Alan Clark leading the way. Britt Van Meter in 2nd. 3rd is Wes Ennis. 4th of 46 of Jason Shaw. Bucky still working the high lane. Shaw holding him off. I don't think Bucky's going to be able to get him in the outside lane. Shaw's taking a high entry into the turn, is really slowing the momentum of Dan Bucky. Jayberg picks up a spot. Move him up to 6th. Started this race in 7th at Gage Jayberg. Ennis back to 8th, make it 7th. Got a caution. Wheel off down to the turn. Just missing it was Dale Beatty. And yellow out for Mike McDonald in the number 16 as he loses a wheel up in turn number 4. 5 laps complete. 15 laps from the finish. 169. Alan Clark. Wes Ennis on the outside. We come to the stripe in 4. The green is out. Good restart underway. As they exit turn number 2 and head down the backstretch, they're heading to Chris Cale as we crank it up during this compact feature. Nice. Wes Ennis leads at the line. The conclusion of lap number 6. Wes Ennis out front. Alan Clark in 2nd. Britt Van Meter in 3rd. Gage Jayberg's up to the 4th spot. In 5th is Dan Bucky. 6th, the 46 of Jason Shaw. Jayberg slowly making his way toward the front. New car this season for Jayberg. He's quickly become one of the main contenders week in and week out. 3 weeks in a row, top qualifier. And he's up to 3rd coming off the corner, so Jayberg not going to count him out quite yet. As he takes 3rd away from the 27 of Van Meter. Halfway this time, 10 laps in, 10 more laps to go for Wes Ennis, Alan Clark, Gage Jayberg. And Jayberg will be able to get by the 169 of Clark, I think, but then the question becomes, can he run down the leader, Wes Ennis, without a yellow if it stays green to challenge him? Three wide coming off of 2 as Larry Ennis Jr. drops to the bottom. Britt Van Meter in the middle and Dan Bucky on the top side. Bucky trying hard to make that outside lane work. I think it's going to in this instance. Jayberg working past Alan Clark. Taking him a while to do it though. As he lets up just early enough going into the turn, Clark's able to pull back alongside. Good run for Clark again. 7 to go that time. 6 laps left for the 50 of Wes Ennis. Four laps left, 4 remaining for Wes Ennis. Gage Jayberg, Alan Clark, Dan Bucky. Bucky has to pick up one more spot to get his normal position of 3rd, and he's got a chance to do it. He's closing quickly on Clark. About 3/10 quicker was Gage Jayberg last lap. We'll see what he is this time with 3 to go. About half a second that time, but still likely to run out of time. If he got a yellow, it'll work out nicely for the 21 of Gage Jayberg, but not sure that he's going to get one. 2 to go for Wes Ennis. Gage Jayberg in the battle for 3rd. Alan Clark and Dan Bucky. White flag, 1 to go. Last lap for the 50. Checkered waves coming off of 4 this time. Hunter Corbett up in front. Last car on the lead lap, but it's going to be Wes Ennis, and he ends it just in time because the 21 of Jayberg was right there. Had closed it down to about 3 car lengths. 3rd spot goes to the 169 of Dan Bucky. Dan Bucky finishing 4th. Alan Clark taking 3rd. And 5th spot to Britt Van Meter in the 27. Pretty good compact race, just 1 caution. Your winner pulling to the line, the number 50 of Wes Ennis, going to take his victory lap. Chris Cale's going to get a word with him. As we wrap up tonight's action, do want to thank all of you race fans for coming out. Again, a big thanks to Keister Implement and John Deere for presenting tonight's racing action. And remember, Ferris Chevrolet night next week. Dollar Dogs, Dollar Pops, and kids race car rides at intermission. And we'll send it down to Downtown Ford Victory Lane for your point leader. And tonight's feature winner interview with Chris Cale will be Wes Ennis.
Pulling into Victory Lane in the Oliver's Garage Stewart's Flooring Bad Boys Sandblasters number 50 for the 7th time this season. His 4th, according to Joe Oliver. Yeah, that kid. Wes Ennis is your winner in your compact division. Well, yeah, you're that kid for the 4th time this year.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming.
I'll tell you what, this thing was hooked up. You picked your way up through the pack. I don't know if you knew the 21 was closing, but he was coming fast. Good thing, you only had 20 laps in him other than about 25.
Yeah, Jayberg's quick, but it's whoever gets out front first between me and him. I mean, I wouldn't be able to pass him. He wouldn't be able to pass me. It's just how it is.
So you're saying that 50 would have been pretty wide.
Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, who you want to thank on this number 50 besides that turd standing over there at the front of the car?
Joe, my dad, Oliver's Garage, Bad Boy Sandblasters, Knock Tuning, Stewart's Flooring, Terrace Hair Care, and everybody else.
And for the record, I was calling Joe the turd, not your dad, because he'd beat my butt.
Okay.
Congratulations, your winner. In the number 50 for the 4th time this season, put your hands together for Wes Ennis. Again, make sure you stop out next week, kids. Race car rides presented by Ferris Chevrolet. Adam Mackey, thank you very much for coming and calling the racing action tonight. Jason Neely even said thank you also. So great to have you. If you get a rain out, make sure you come back and see us. If not, we'll see you again next year.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Be safe.